Well, it's crunch time for the ANC leadership as they meet some of the party's strongest critics in the form of the veterans. The matters expected to top the agenda include the party's performance in the recent municipal elections, the apparent battles between various arms of government such as the Hawks, the NPA, the SA Revenue Service and the Treasury. The State of Capture report by former Public Protector Sulima Ronsele is also expected to feature. Some of the voices in the veterans group have in recent weeks been extremely vocal in their criticism of the party leadership, including President Zuma.
We would want to discuss ways in which we can make sure that there is a turnaround strategy to reposition the movement in a way that it will do what it is supposed to do.
Perhaps so that we are not second-guessed about the first question. Is this group calling for President Zuma to step down? I think the straightforward answer is no. Together. What Comrade Frank was saying, individually some people have expressed it, but we have not together taken a position that says that, because that would be, I think, disingenuous, because on the one hand, we want to speak to the president. On the other hand, if we say he must step down, who do you want to speak to actually?
Well, addressing ANC members at Pietermaritzburg last week, the president took a dig at the ANC stalwarts, questioning his leadership. ANC's Deputy Secretary General Jesse Duarte said the party was open to constructive discussions.
Eminye yale mbutho iyahlakazeka, eminye ishintshe indlela yokuhamba ithathe ezinye inkqubo-mgomo ukuthi abantu ababendawonye kuma-trenches bazondane ngendlela ongazange uyibone. Nani-ke ngithi-ke ngesinye isikhathi angeke kwenzekele kokhongolose ukukhongolose ukuthiwe indawo. Uma sekuvela lezo nselelo zisuke zikubuza ukuthi wakhiwe ngani, wakhiwe ngodala noma ngomdomo noma wakhiwe ngensimbi.
If we look at the voices of 101, they're now 106, led by the Reverend Frank Chikani, some of those people are not stalwarts, nor are they veterans. They were activists of the ANC in the 80s, some in the 90s, some fairly recently. These are people who were very expensive consultants amongst them, who may have not had their consultancies renewed by various government departments. There's anger there. Amongst them are people who were ambassadors, who were not returned as ambassadors. There's anger about that. There are genuine voices there. We're willing to listen to all of them, 101 of them, on Monday if all of them come.
Well, in a show of its hypocritical stand on conscience vote, the DA has suspended 5 of its councillors from the caucus activity in Cape Town. The councillors have been reprimanded for ignoring a party directive in the election of a sub-council chairperson in Kraaifontein. The councillors voted for a different candidate than the one preferred by their party. Now, as the ANC has lashed out at the DA, terming it as a political opportunism of the DA, this is DA leader Musima Imani has urged ANC MPs to vote with their conviction, not according to the party line during the vote of no confidence in the president. The ANC said the suspension of the 5 councillors proves that the DA is an unprincipled party. They opportunistically assert one political perspective in public regarding the operations of National Parliament, whilst doing its direct opposite in other legislative spheres.
This is a party that can't be trusted. Today they say this, and yet in action is something else. And obviously the action in Cape Town, suspending 6 councillors, is indicative of a party that speaks both sides of the mouth. I think those councillors, like DA has done so many times, they must take the Democratic Alliance to court, and I've heard that some of them are already considering that option. Because the Democratic Alliance has created an impression that it's them who understand what democracy means. And yet, their action is nothing else but dictatorship.
This suspension comes in the wake when they were in the National Assembly advocating that the other party, in this case the African National Congress, should actually depart from that established protocol and principle of voting as a party, not as individuals, that they were advocating for that, and yet at the same time, and in fact they were lambasting and bemoaning the fact that ANC was going to use its numbers and voting as a bloc to frustrate their motion of no confidence, and yet they're going to do the opposite. So it doesn't look good for them.